Now, when you say that some of them don't get seen very much, there is a reason, one in particular, that was banned, Lullaby. And yet it won an award. How do you feel about the contrast?
Well, there have been two videos that we've made in the past 6 years that haven't expressly been banned. It was close to me when the wardrobe went off the cliff, that we were told that if we kept that in, it wouldn't get shown in children's television, certainly in England anyway. And Lullaby, there were a lot of problems at first, particularly in America, where they thought that it was too frightening for an age group that it was aimed at, which are the two things, I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all. There's no logic behind it. But they're never especially banned, they're just not shown. If they were banned, it would probably be much better. We'd get twice the publicity.
We possibly can on him and the others.
You like that, Robert?
I hate it. I mean, in some of the videos, there's a lot of imagery which is far from what I'd call subtle, which I'm amazed that people don't pick up on. I mean, the videos that shouldn't be seen are the ones that are shown the most.
You see, the thing
so
is,
what shouldn't be seen?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you. It's like,
no, I think
it speaks. Compilations,
it does speak for itself. There are certain images on this, and for example, one night I was in America and it came on the telly. I was thinking, no, I didn't do that. You know, I mean, so I think there are certain recurrent images, and sometimes people don't see the wood for the trees, which is good fun. But really, I mean, you know, I think you see a lot of videos, and I think the value is put over them with sort of girlies sprawling over red cars and everything, which is great in your personal life and everything. That's fine. You know I do that every day in my personal life, but I think actually in videos it is slightly offensive, and I would be more offended by something like that than, say, a wardrobe going off a cliff. You know, who cares?
Okay, now if you watch the picture show, I think anyone would notice that every video is very radically different. They're very...
Well, in a way that isn't true, because actually, and I think what's really good about the Cure videos is that, I mean, we've been working together now for 10 years, you know. It's like 10 years scary. But we had... Yeah, I know. No, we know. Yeah. No, yes, no, we don't see each other. Yeah, exactly. I haven't seen him for like a month or so, but that's why we get on. And what was the question about? No, actually,
videos being different.
No, there are loads of recurrent images in all the videos and things that recur in all of them.
There's different styles for each video.
There's very different styles, but then that's because most video directors can't sort of change their style. So one week we'll go out and shoot one a bit like this, you know, where we wobble the camera around. Next week we'll shoot one a bit like a feature film. The next one we'll shoot like a pop video and stuff like that, and throw the camera around. Everyone says, oh, aren't they wacky?
Can we just talk about that video, Why Can't I Be You? Because, I mean, if you look at it, it's full of images. You've got lips, and you've got eyes, and you've got hands, and you've got mouths, and there's lots of jumping around, different characters, different costumes. Robert, where did all that come from?
Well, I think with every video that we've made, I always sit down with Tim I tell him basically what the song's about, if it's about anything in particular, and then usually we go away and come back like pretty near to the time of the video, and talk about what the video should look like and what kind of imagery, what kind of feel. And I have a very basic idea that I try and communicate about, usually using reference points of a film maybe, or just a piece of music or something, and I leave like all the detail to Pat, and that's the way they put together with Why Can't I Be You. I mean, the song was actually about the notion that, I mean, it came from someone actually said to me in a bar and wished they could be, and I went to had this whole conversation about how you should never really wish to be anyone else. You should like make the most of what you do yourself, and it got very sort of like convoluted. And I went away and I thought, well, in there somewhere there's a really good idea for a pop song, just like all the things that you want to be, because it is part of human nature to sometimes, not wish maybe like dramatically, but sometimes to think, it would be really good to do that, even if it's just for a day. And so I said to the others, well, if we do a video, will you be prepared to dress up in your favourite costumes, and make fools of yourself? And once I got their go-ahead, I went to Pat, and then I left it all up to him. We arrived on the day and discovered like crow costumes, and realised that all our favourite characters had been discarded, and all the things that we never asked for were actually on the set, and it was too late to change them.
You've got a Humpty Dumpty in there as well somewhere, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got them all sorts of characters. Yeah. But what was really funny, what was great was doing the choreography for that, wasn't it? That was when I actually literally wet myself that night, because we did it. We shot that in Ireland for various reasons, and we were in the studio, and we had this choreographer coming on to help us.
And I heard the best choreographers were in Ireland at
absolutely,
the time.
that's basically the story. That's why we actually went there. and some lady who'd worked with the Second Generation. Do you remember the Second Generation? It was all that sort of stuff that we wanted to do and everything.
I don't remember.
So, and I thought, well, we can whip them up into a bit of a frenzy overnight. So we did this rehearsal in this hotel room with everyone with their pints of beer and their cigarettes and everything. And what was great was for the first 10 minutes everyone was joking around, but after 10 minutes everyone was taking it very seriously, and that's when it actually became very funny.
I think we looked tight.
I think you look very
good.
tight. I think you look very tight indeed.
And as I heard Robert say, very
professional.
5-star as well. On the picture show, you've got, in between a lot of the videos, a lot of outtakes, film of you on tour, backstage, whatever. I want to know from Robert how spontaneous those outtakes were. Are they contrived?
No, there's a mixture of stuff that I've just taken off the telly, like sort of idiot pop shows that we've done, and I've been sent video cassettes and I've just decided to use it. But like, there's certain compilations of just us, like in the dresses and in a helicopter and playing each other's instruments, that sort of stuff. And then just the things that we film just in the course of, if we're doing something particular, someone's usually got a camera. I mean, it's as contrived as anyone's ever contrived when there's a camera about. I mean, there's the stuff that's really natural wouldn't get into the video because it would be too horrible to look at. But it's not contrived. You don't sort of think, and a lot of the bits weren't picked. I mean, a lot of the bits that are in there are actually, they're not particularly flattering or anything. I just thought they would be things that would illuminate the different characters. What I was trying to do was to get a sense, the people watching it, that you'd actually build up with the sense of the characters in the group outside of the videos, rather than just rely on the videos. And so some of it, I mean, the others are like, everyone thinks it looks really good as a whole. There are bits that everyone, including me, doesn't really like. I mean, I wanted certain bits, and I sort of saw them in context, and I thought, well, no, that makes me look a bit dumb. But then I am a bit dumb a lot of the time, so I think it's better to keep it in because it sort of works. It turns everything on its head, because if you're too perfect, I've seen, not mentioning any names, but a couple of other things that have attempted to do this with backstage footage, and it's so contrived that it's unwatchable. I mean,
obviously Madonna, Truth or Dare springs to mind.
Yeah.
Are we going to see a pure video purely of backstage footage?
no.
I doubt it. I mean, who's interested in
it's
backstage?
dreary.
Who's actually interested?
I would think a lot of people.
Well, I think what they've got in this instance, and a lot of people say it's like a home movie, which it actually is. And all this stuff, like whenever I'm on a shoot, there's always someone with like a camera with a haircut over the top of it. And I hadn't seen that stuff for like some of it for actually years, and it's like really frightening when you actually sort of see it all. But I think it's really good because I think very few people would have the bottle. And as Robert said, I think like being a person who makes videos, it's very difficult to put over the sort of joyous fun that one has making these videos and everything, and I think these bits of film really capture that, and it really puts, and it's very difficult also with the videos to put over everyone's characters, because inevitably Robert sings,
That's
so
what I wanted to try and balance out.
it doesn't come over necessarily as a group. And I think what's really good is that you see everyone. You see Simon, who's like particularly funny, and it's very difficult
Because
to
the
get
balance in the videos isn't the balance that's in real life. The balance in
Definitely
real life, I take very much more of the back seat when everyone's together
Totally.
and everyone's like
Yeah.
socialising. I'm not the one with the loudest voice by any means.
Are you shy?
Not really. I'm not particularly.
It's just
I'm
that
certainly
other
not shy.
people-
I'm
other
more
people have
reserved.
got louder
that's it.
voices.
Yeah.
I mean, Simon's got a very loud voice.
Yeah, and it's like Simon and Boris will very often like just take control of what's going on, and I just sit back and watch. And I wanted to try and get some of that because people would think otherwise, well, it's all in every single video I'm at the front. It's my face filling the screen all the time, and it gets a bit, I get fed up with it because people think it's just me and the others, and this in some way redresses the balance. So you come out of it actually thinking particularly with someone like Paul, who's been in the group for years and years, but it's so quiet generally that you'd never even notice that he's there. But on this video, but at the end of it, he's actually speaking in some parts. And I mean, even because I edited it together and they saw it in like just in rough cut form, he was really shocked like to see himself speaking on screen. I think it's probably the first time ever that he's spoken on screen. So.
Yeah.
What do you like as a person when you are not making a video, you're not doing a live concert or a TV interview like this? What do you really like?
That's an impossible question. I'm normal.
Is the image in the video, for example, that we see, is that you expressing yourself, or?
Videos are very contrived. I think videos are very contrived.
Yeah,
sort of images,
I have to really act in the videos. I perform, but I don't act a character that I'm not. But I have to like drag something out of me that's very reluctant. I'm like a reluctant performer, but it is in me. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. I would say no to the videos. But I don't walk about in real life. I don't walk about in real life with this much makeup, and it's only because I've been doing photos. I would have come here. I would wipe it off, but I know it would just look
So what do you wear to go to the
worse.
supermarket?
Well, I wear I always have my hair out, and I wear exactly the same clothes I've got on, but I wouldn't wear as much lipstick and eye makeup as I've got on. But I will always wear a bit of makeup, It's just like, I don't know why. War paint facing the world.
From some of the videos that we could see on the picture show, are there any funny moments that you can think of during the filming of the videos?
I don't think
It
of any.
depends whose point of view. I find
He's laughing all the way through it.
it's basically it's setting up as many situations to see. Yeah, I mean there were great moments, not many that we could talk about, but there are great, always great moments on every one, I think. But also there's very depressing moments as well, aren't they? I mean, making those videos, you know, people always think you have such a laugh making them, and actually they're really tedious to do and everything, you know.
You can't ever. The worst thing about making a video from our group's point of view is that you can never really relax, and the day might be like 18 hours long, and I've got to like look the same basically at the end of the 18 hours as I did for the first shot of the day, and it kills me that. I mean, it means that I can't drink with it because it's always me. It always says at the last close up, make sure your eyes aren't red, you know. And that is the worst part of making a video for me because I can't sort of join. The others don't seem to care so much about it because they don't have so many close-ups. So I think they probably have more of a laugh than I do. But it's good, like something with the Never Enough video and Chris Parry, when we get like Chris Parry to take helium and act out, and he just keeps making him redo it, so he goes completely out of his head. It's
stuff like that. We have fun like that sort of way, and in a funny sort of way, it shows up on the screen. I think you know, in the end. But you know, the funny thing was when we started making these videos, no one was actually interested at all. It's like we'd sort of make them in a garage and stuff like that, and now everyone likes them, which is sort of funny, isn't it? There you go.